The following clip is an attempt to focus on the current issues that face the educational system in India in a historical context. Since India's independence, Indian governments have had to address a number of key challenges with regard to the educational policy. This policy has always formed a crucial part of its developmental agenda. The key challenges in this policy are improving access and quality at all levels of education, increasing funding, especially with regard to higher education, and improving literacy rates. While new governments commonly pledge to increase spending on education, this has rarely been seen. Most changes undertaken by the government were aimed at reforming the national curriculum and have been criticized for attempting to Hinduize India's traditionally secular education system. Improving the standards of education in India will be a critical test for the current Congress-led government. It will need to resolve concerns over the content of the curriculum as well as tackling the underlying challenges to education. So just what would it be like to be a student in the Indian classroom? Well, after being a student in the American classroom, this transition can be very difficult. You see, India struggles with overpopulation and also with lack of resource in the classroom. Not only this, but in some parts of India, the young girls aren't even allowed to attend school. The higher level educational system in India is much more successful. Each year they produce many engineering majors that are very successful and take over some very high-standing jobs around the world. Yet, the primary and secondary educational system in India struggles greatly, not only with funding, but with resources. In an attempt to turn the educational system around, the government has installed many programs since the 1980s. Now we will learn a little bit about each one of these programs and what they strive to do for their students. The first program is called Operation Blackboard, and it was instilled in 1987 and 1988. This program aimed to improve the human and physical resources available in primary schools. The next program was called the Restructuring and Reorganization of Teacher Education, and it was installed in 1987. This program created a resource for the continuous upgrading of teachers' knowledge and competence. Next, in 1991, the government installed the Minimum Levels of Learning program. This program laid down levels of achievement at various stages and revised textbooks in the educational system. The National Program for Nutritional Support to Primary Education was put into act in 1995. This provided a cooked meal every day for children in classes 1 through 5 of all government, government-aided, and local body schools. In some cases, grain was distributed on a monthly basis, subject to a minimum attendance. In 1993, the District Primary Educational Program emphasized and decentralized planning and management. It improved teaching and learning materials and school effectiveness. In 2000, Movement to Educate All was aimed to achieve universal primary education by 2010 through micro-planning and school mapping exercises, bridging gender and social gaps. Lastly, the Fundamental Right Program was put into place in 2001. This involved the provision of free and compulsory education and was declared to be a basic right for children between ages 6 and 14. Now, although none of these programs have been 100% successful, each one attempts to help the school system in one way or another. Perhaps the point I'm trying to make is that although none of these programs may have completely fixed India's constant battle, all of these programs are an attempt that proves that the government is still trying to push their students towards success. In America, oftentimes we forget that we still need to try and we still need to push ourselves. And sometimes it takes seeing struggles like this to make us realize how blessed we are. Not only will India continue to improve, but one day India will get the educational system that they have always dreamed of. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation, and I hope there is something that you can learn. Not only should we strive to be successful for ourselves, but for the many generations to come. Our students are our future.